Hey y'all, it is Friday, so you know it's time for something sweet, and today we're going to make some lemon squares. Start by preheating your oven to 350, and then to a large bowl, we're going to add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/2 of a cup of sugar, and 2 sticks of softened butter. Now make sure that your butter is good and soft because this is the only liquid part of this dough, so you just want to make sure that it's good and soft so that it's not quite as difficult to mix. And when you make this, it's just going to turn into a crumbly dough. It's not going to come together like you think. It's going to be really crumbly, so don't let that freak you out. So once you get your dough made, go ahead and put you some parchment paper down in a 9x13 pan. And if you put a little bit of cooking spray in the bottom of your pan, then your parchment paper will stick down and it won't keep popping up. So once you get your parchment paper down in there, you're going to go ahead and pour your crumbly dough right over into your 9x13 pan. And then we're going to press this out. Do the best you can. Try to get it as even as you can. And it takes a little bit of work because, like I said, it is crumbly, but it comes together pretty easy. It just takes a little bit to try to get it, even. So once you get it even, you're going to put it in the oven and you're going to cook it for a minimum of 15 minutes. Now, it took mine about 20, so just watch it. So while that's cooking, we're going to take another bowl and we're going to make the lemon part of this. You're going to need 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1.5 cups of white sugar, 4 eggs, and the juice of 2 lemons. So just make sure that you don't use the bottled lemon juice. Now, I don't know why you're not supposed to use it, but they say don't use it. I don't know if it's a flavor thing or I'm not real sure. I don't know what the science is behind that, but they said don't use the bottled stuff. Maybe they're just fancy. I don't know, but we're going to be fancy today too because we're going to use real lemons. So I went ahead and rolled my lemons there on the counter for a second to try to get those juices to flowing. And then I don't have one of those little I don't think it's called the juicer, but you know the little thing that has the little handle and you put your lemon in it and it squeezes all the juice out? I don't have one of those, y'all, clearly. So I just got my little tiny colander out and sat it over the bowl and just squeezed my little lemon juice right in there. And I just had that to catch the seeds, which of course, I'm going to lose at least one seed and chase it down. But just squeeze them out the best that you can. And this recipe, the mixture is not super lemony. It is lemony now, but it wasn't. I guess I was expecting it to be a little more sour than it was, but it wasn't. So if you like yours a little bit more on the tart side, I would say maybe add 1/3 lemon. Or if you have the little squeezer thing, maybe you'll get more juice out. Maybe that would solve the problem. I'm not sure. But anyway, they were still good. So once you get your lemons all squeezed, you're going to go ahead and just take a whisk. You don't need a mixer for this. And just mix it up really well. You want to make sure you get all that sugar incorporated real good. And then you want to make sure that you don't have any clumps of egg in there. So, you don't want big clumps of egg in your lemon bar. That would be disgusting. So once you pull your dough out of the oven, now this is straight out of the oven. It is still hot. Like I literally just took it from the oven to the counter. You're just going to pour your mixture over while it's hot. Now I just went ahead and mixed this up a little bit more because it had been sitting for a few minutes while the dough was cooking. So this is super thin. So again, don't let that freak you out because that's the way it's supposed to be. I thought, Lord, I did something wrong because there's no way this is going to set up. But it does, y'all. So like everything else we do around here, we just going to trust the process. So you're going to pour that over, let it, pour out as even as you can. And then you're going to put that back in the oven for about 20 minutes. Once you bring it out of the oven, I just kind of poked around on it a little bit because it's going to be gooey. So I'm not sure that the toothpick method would work for this. But just kind of poke around on it. Make sure that it is set up. You don't want it to still be liquidy. And then I put it in the freezer for about an hour. Now, look at the little pieces of crust that fell off. But I was leaving to go to my daughter's because I was going to see my grandbabies and I wanted to take these over to their house with me. So I only let it sit for an hour. Now, If I wasn't going anywhere, I'd probably let it sit for at least 2 because it was still a tiny bit sticky when I cut it, which is fine. It still turned out fine. But, or you can, if you have time, put it in your refrigerator and let it sit. You could let it sit overnight. Once you pull it out and it's all cooled down, go ahead and just dust it with some powdered sugar. And you can use a little or you can use a lot. Just try to, get it on there as even as you can. I'm sure it'll all be fine. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this so I can show y'all what the inside looks like. Because we've got a little cookie bottom, and then we've got that ooey gooey lemony filling on the top. These are so good, y'all. So they're so delicious. They have minimal ingredients, and they're so easy to make. You got to give them a try. So I'm going to put y'all another video to watch right up here, and then I will see y'all next time.